welcome to the front lines in the battle against the deep state, the cabal, the Lumadonkeys, and all those that wish to enslave all of humanity for their own selfish reasons. Well, we're covering quite a lot of territory every single day. There is some new interesting things happening. We've got a new news event where Trump is taking on the Dems that have taken over the church that's across from the White House. I guess they decided this is a good time, and they combined themselves with Antifa and a bunch of other, leftist organizations. They're having a sit-in, taking over that church, and I guess Trump's just not going to put up with it. So, very interesting. First, let's look. There is a report that I started off with, and we'll take a look from there. Let me go ahead and bring this up. So you never know. Yeah, Trump just doesn't put up with this, right? So I guess he decided he's gonna take them on directly. I guess he had gone over. Let's listen to what the reporter has to say. So here we go. All right. It's not showing. Why is it not showing? Always something. Oh, here we go.
St. John's Church, which is called the Church of the Presidents, which is just opposite the White House in Washington, D.C. And bottom right-hand corner, you can see what's going on there now, but we can show you the walk that he took directly after making that speech to the nation, which surprised most commentators, or surprised everybody, to see him on the streets of Washington, D.C.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop it there and just go right over to the church interview, or the what happened at the church. Because apparently there's interference. So here we got the Trump at the church. You can see the global news is there, NPR, Huffington Post, Antifa, and PBS. Trump's walking into the church.
Dare you separate them from their parents? Order your son to mother's arms and throw him in a cage.
There's a microphone that wasn't all the time. Let's speed things up here. I'm just going to assume that my system is overtaxed. There's not one thing, it's another, right? I'm just going to go ahead and pause it for a moment. It is the fun of doing things live, right? Of course, everything's set and ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and let this set for a little bit. It was a fun little video. That's why I wanted to share it with you. We have so many good things happening in the world. And now my cat is also making an appearance here. So, and I'm also looking. My system says it's buffering all the way along. So, I think the best thing for me to do is really just try and step out a little bit. I want to say that step out of some of my tabs. If I close down a few things, I think that might help. You never know what is going on in the background here. Versa. My cat is also deciding that she wants to be vocal, so you never know. So I did turn off my cam, hoping that might do it. And to have Trump in the video was I thought a good way of bringing some levity to what the situation has been. But I'm going to switch over to some other things, and I'm going to put tab because this will cover this. This is Neverland Ranch, or Michael Jackson's Neverland. And I got caught that the logo was also seen from the, it looks like a Q. Another meme that was pointing this out, that it was set up as a Q, looking like a Q, as well as a Princess Diana's memorial looking like a Q, as well as JFK's memorial looking like a Q. And I personally believe things about Michael Jackson, that I think that he was going to win. That's why he was taken out. Anyone that blows the whistle that's in a high position, they basically made the deal to get in that situation, to be successful in Hollywood. So they've made the deal. Sorry, I'm just closing down things. So this is Neverland Ranch, one of the same logo up here. Some also said made it look like a rabbit in there, which I guess it could also be seen like a rabbit. So now here's another from higher up. You can see what it looks like, and this area is not as green as it used to be. It looks like but there's two of these little logos, one right next lower right hand side of the building, and one up on the upper right hand side. Get a little closer. This is right inside, and this is what you might want to. I've always wondered what it looked like from the inside. This is the first time. I just thought it would be good to show what's been on the inside. This is also on the inside. This is if I'm correct, it actually looks like it is Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. If you remember, when he goes into the land of make believe, there was this castle where the puppets would come out. There was a king of the castle. So it looks like I don't know if it actually is, but to me it looks like. I just wanted a couple of the inside pics. I thought it'd be good to share, because in Neverland Ranch, it was always something I heard about. It wasn't too far from where I was living when I was living in Santa Monica, California. And this just looks like when all the grass is very green, and it looks like it's well kept. And it looks like it's not the case anymore. System's definitely running pretty slow. It's only 30 seconds. We'll play it. It's Joe Biden. Let's see if this one will play. I guess I'm just not having very much luck with this at this time. It just doesn't. Let me just do a complete reload, see if that helps. Nope. It's still moving very slow. Well, let me pause for a moment. I'm going to send my cat out. I'll be right back. There we go.
Jumping on my lap, and I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
Let's do a little bit of a rewind with the audio on.
That turn about. That turn about. We cannot win this re-election. We can only re-elect Donald Trump. If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black. So I learned about kids jumping on my lap, and I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
All right. Well, that's an interesting little comedy piece. So let's play this one again. See if it'll act a little bit better. Since I've shut down so many of the other screens that were going on. You never know. Main thing is I did test my internet this morning, working just fine, full bandwidth. So it's always peculiar when things just decide to slow down on my system. When I kind of like, I can see certain things getting overloaded, but it only seems to happen, when I'm going online, and that's why I've not been able to do the Zoom at the same time and show video. But I am able to capture my webcam separately and show it. So
every single American tonight, you should be concerned about what we're.
Now, I had already fast forwarded past this first part of this to where, he was already in the church. So I
learned
that kind of, because I was just playing up on, Trump taking on the Dems at the church. But the whole setup worked, the execution failed. So I did post this in the .love group, WWG1WGA.
Nearly 2,000 children have been separated from their parents at the U.S.-Mexican border from mid-April through the end of May.
How dare you separate them from their parents? We're gonna rip your son from his mother's arms and throw him in a cage full of pedophiles and let them have.
rally actions going on inside the church. You got Trump going after all of them. Whether it's the politicians, the media, Antifa. BBC News, The Hill. No, there's Romney. There's Obama. That last one was Soros. And then CNN, there's Hillary. And of course, that's the end.
All I do is win.
All right. We'll cut that off. So that was my whole intro that got completely turned upside down, trying to basically show what was going on. I just want to point out, yesterday we talked about Laura Loomer and her pointing out that that CBS was announcing 2 days before the election the results, and that of course that she lost. So I'm glad to actually say though that she won. Breaking news: Laura Loomer wins Florida congressional primary. Watch her victory party live. So great. So she's running in Florida's 21st district, and so I'm glad to see that she won. And a follow-up story from yesterday: U.S. Postal Service bets on Ethereum blockchain in patented voting system. So we'll just go through just a little bit of this. As the U.S. is gearing towards the November 3rd presidential election, it seems the U.S. Postal Service might be preparing to integrate blockchain within its own operations to provide a reliable mail-in voting system for voters across the country. Last week, the service filed a patent application describing a secure voting system using the Ethereum blockchain that could pave the way for the blockchain's increased usage in the elections worldwide. The 47-page long filing, which was submitted to the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, states that a voting system can use the security of blockchain to mail and the mail to provide reliable voting system in which a registered voter receives a computer-readable code in the mail and confirms the identity and correct ballot information on an election. So basically, the registered voters receiving a computer-readable code in the mail and confirms identity. I don't know how they confirm the identity, and then collect the ballot information in the election. Now, I have not had time yet to go over this 47-page one, but I will do that. I'm very curious as to what they're looking at and doing there. So let me first check and see how is our stream doing. Over to the live stream. So we've got 15 current viewers. Hello, everyone. In the our little chat over here, there's a Quantum Entanglement saying hello, and then Christy. I really appreciate you, Dan. You're such an amazing spirit. Thank you very much, Christy. I love your spirit also. Can't see any pictures. It looks like a Disney spot. Yeah, I think it's because of the buffering that was going on has really just put a a hold on that. So let me go ahead. I'm going to switch back over to the cam setting here and change that out a little bit. See if that was going to work. All right, there we go. It'll take a few seconds for it to show up. There. Thank you again, Christy, for your compliments. You know, doing this is very challenging. This mission to actually defeat the cabal. You know, I seem to have been, you know, doing this for my whole lifetime. I've had this mission, you know, and I've tried to find out and go in the direction that I think takes me where I need to go. That's why I got into the GCR. You know, I went into that looking for, you know, to get rid of the good guys, the white hats, playing out their part, which all these white hats that I met, we're talking about very high level people in government and industry, in the military, having their position and looking to move us forward, to change the world, because everybody was really upset with this system, right? And we were labeling, you know, all along the way, it was the cabal, right? We were fighting. Now we're calling it the deep state, and that's fine. It makes more sense, right? We look at a extra government, I mean, a beyond the government entity, a beyond country entity that has its tentacles around the world, doing some very bad things, treating the world as if they own it. And they do believe that. They do believe that they own the world. After all the assets were gathered up by the United Nations fantastic money system, or we could call it the Babylonian money system. We can go back to Egypt and say that the system existed back then in Egypt, and it was also thrown off, you know, with an uprising back then. So this is a repeated pattern, right? We're going through the same cycle again and again. And, you know, we go back 500 years and what was going on back then, you know, 1520, what was going on back then? Was that not the time of the Black Plague? You know, do we have another plague? Is it being diffused, though, this time, and everyone realizing that it's not real? All right, now, was it real back then? It's hard to say what was going on. All we know is stories, right? We don't have video footage from back then. And if we did, look at the video footage we have now. So we've been, this battle is long been played out. And there are the people that have been on the front lines trying to make sure we move to a better place this time around. Getting prepared. What is it going to look like? How do we do that? You know, so, you know, I've gone from having lots of money to not having money, right? And that's where I'm sitting now, looking at this world, thinking, how do I keep going with this mission, right? Even the whole world being shut down, right? But I have had people that are helping. You know, that I have received more donations. I have had 3 donations come in from yesterday's broadcast to now, and one was $100, one was $10, and one was $28, something like that. So that's getting me close to where I can pay off both of those bills, you know, which is great. You know, I'm ecstatic about being able to pay off, keeping my electricity on and my internet. That means I can keep broadcasting. Then the next step after that is the landlord, right? And then of course, food. So these are the basics, right? At least for me, I basically need about $1,500 a month to just pay and maintain. this is a very strange position for me to find myself here asking. I'm not feeling shame or prideful not to ask. I've had a life where I've dealt with people that have needed and asked for charity in the past, and I've helped. I've been giving pretty much my whole life, to people that just were in need, and helped them in that moment. So I feel blessed when that happened, that I was there able to help. And I had a evangelical pastor in New Orleans friend, Jonas Robertson, that I would we'd have some interesting conversations about the ministry in general, how they ask for donations, and then he was very hypercritical of his own industry, you might say. But we had always talked about the blessing. It's a blessing to be able to give, and so I don't ever want to deny anyone that blessing, especially right now for the this time in my life where I'm in need. And since I've started this particular mission, really to design what a new economy would look like, a new ecosystem, and what does that mean, and how do we sit outside of that existing structure, to have the understanding of what public is versus private, to know what a republic is, which is kind of interesting, was actually fairly new for me to find this out. I only found this out last year about what republic actually means. It means not public. It's like, seems like this happened before back in Rome, right? They wanted to set up the republic, right? Why would they do it? Because it was for the people. Well, I thought the people were the public. No. Public means government. It means that structure that is engulfing the world. So this is where we find ourselves at this time, facing the same problem all over again, right? We're fighting the same battle. So what does it look like when we basically say we want the republic? We want to be outside of the public. Not to say that there aren't those that are in the public, which are let's just call them the employees of the government. Now, the way the government's going, they would have 100% of everyone as an employee. And in that case, there is no freedom, right? Because it's the apparatus that is controlling things. And those people that are at the top controlling things, the ones that were above the governments, right, are the ones that are then pulling the strings, because we don't even get to see them. So what does this system look like? How do we get there? Well, one thing I know is that we are having to come together. I want to point out something on Life Force. Just let me switch back over to Life Force 1 second. We covered it yesterday as well. Please get the Life Force app. Now I'm on the web page, right, version of it, but I signed up first on the app on my phone. I find it much easier for me to show you things through the computer. So I went through and I followed everyone that was on the Life Force app. Seems to be still running a bit sluggish. So here we go, it's slow. Definitely running slow. I think it's just in general my system is overtaxed at the moment. But I did join with everybody that I could find, and I got up to 1,060 some members that I followed. So I followed everyone. And so I want to show you something. what that does is that it gets you to see certain things. Just reload page, hopefully. So there you can see 1,060 followings and 9 following me. I have signed for troops, for enforcement unit, and the Assembly, California. It's rebooting now. I'm refreshing. That's how slow my system is running. I guess it's just overnight from the streaming. And I apologize if it's showing you buffering. I know people have made comments that they're not seeing any video or it's buffering. This is what is happening. You know, nothing I can do about that other than, you know, top system fixed. And, you know, that's usually coming down on something else. So this is the main page where it's actually showing, well, here's mission 2. You know, please visit lifeforce.global. Top right under missions, watch the video and grab the notice, watch and then report, and then go to Twitter and then just do a Twitter storm on it. And then they want some feedback. So this is the mission 2 launched. There's no timing associated with this, so this is something that you can do. The video link is right down here. I'm going to talk about the so let's play this. So 4 minutes long.
The following is an urgent public notice. Force plan of action, August 13th, 2020. We are providing the attached information for every parent in the nation to equip them with the tools to make essential decisions on behalf of their children for the 2020 school year. Attached is an information package including peer-reviewed articles from various journals that address issues about the efficacy of masks to prevent the spread of disease, studies on the treatment of SARS-CoV, and the frequencies being the primary cause of COVID-19. These articles appear to have been scrubbed from the internet and provide details essential for every parent to review before making what could be life or death decisions in regards to the upcoming school year. Medically reviewed articles, we have highlighted essential details within the text to make key points easier to identify and provided summary explanations as needed. These articles have not been modified to change the content of the message in any way. There are some key actionable items, and we are hoping that you yourself take action if it's appropriate. We have attached a sample letter that we encourage you to read. We are providing this letter so that you see that we at the United News Channel and at Life Force are taking this matter seriously and taking personal accountability for ourselves and our families while encouraging you to do the same. You have our permission to use this document as a model if you would like to take similar action in your area. This version of the letter is addressed to the Superintendent of Schools for the Oceanside area of New York State. Duplicate copies will be sent to various other officials, including, but not limited to, anyone who feel now or in the future have need to be put on notice for a crime committed against people. Please note this letter will be sent using registered mail through the U.S. Post Office to ensure that the recipient has official notice that can be used as irrefutable evidence in any lawful proceeding. This letter makes reference to the New York Assembly, and you may or may not be familiar with this group or one similar to it in your area. This refers to the fourth arm of the government, as described in the First Amendment of the Constitution. The People's Assemblies should be formed for every county in the entire country to ensure the people have an active voice in the local and state government. It is from this body that the People's Grand Jury can be formed to address criminal matters, levy indictments, and redress the grievances of people. Now, by law, the local sheriff for your county is required to enforce these rulings and protect the rights of the people against enemies, both foreign and domestic, according to the Constitution.
Just pausing it right there. To understand that the sheriffs are responsible for enforcing what the assemblies that have legally come together and said, or say, I shouldn't say legally, lawfully come together to give the word of the people on what needs to happen. This is the law of the land.
If you do not have a local assembly or would like to connect with your local assembly, you can get more information on the Assembly's page at lifeforce.global. In many cases, this portion of your local government has gone undeveloped and may require immediate action to organize and enact procedures to ensure that our government remains one that is for and by the people. We encourage self-governance according to the Constitution and only recommend the lawful pursuit and enforcement of our natural God-given rights. Please take these matters seriously to avoid making frivolous claims and do your part to help shape the world you want to live in. Sincerely, Tank.
Thank you, Tank. There we go. So again, if you are on the Life Forces page, you can go to the assemblies. Still running slow. Anyway, so you can find the assemblies over there and join the local one for that particular state, and go from there. Now, it seems the Tank being in New York, they have a lot of activity there because he's the driving force. Looks like California also is starting to have some things happen with it as well. I'm going to look, back over here. Here's the California Assembly. And there's a meeting coming up on Thursday. Assembly meeting, August 17th. Oh, well. So now, I looks like I wanted to go there, but I thought it was going to be on Thursday. So I've missed this one. Darn it. Where did I get Thursday from? Made a mistake. See, that's what happens. Had too many things on your mind and other things you try to organize to do. But anyway, this is where it's being organized from. So if there are people that are interested in joining, please, if you're in California, join. Now, I'm obviously not in California, but I do have most of my life living in California, and I want to, and I've made impacts into California, and I've done things in California, and want it to manage to do things. And there's 24 members so far, and so California needs a lot of help. It really does. It's been one of the states like New York has really been taken over. So I put this little blog in here and said what I was doing in the marijuana industry. I'll just read this out. So I lived in Santa Monica, California for most of my life. I am now living in the Philippines, but I feel I'm missing out on some of the important battles happening in America. I have fought the city of Los Angeles and won, and feel as I was personally responsible for keeping the medical marijuana industry from being snuffed out in LA. I formed a trade association with 50 dispensaries and to stop the city from taking away licenses that the people built their businesses from. This was a battle that won the war. LA was the heart of the medical industry, keeping LA medical industry running, helped my winning against, I don't know how, I misread that, or say keeping the LA medical marijuana industry running helped my winning against this. I spoke in front of, I misspoke there, so I'll have to do it. I spoke weekly in front of the LA City Council for 3 months to help come up with some sensible regulation. I stopped going back to the City Council when I realized it was pointless. One day, shortly after I spoke, one of the councilmen stormed into the chambers and said, "All of this has to do with the alcohol industry. and to some extent the pharmaceutical industry trying to shut this all down. He was so disgusted that they are trying to shut this all down. He said his life partner died of AIDS, and he knows how much it helped him. At that moment, I decided not to go back to the LA City Council and to fight with guerrilla warfare tactics. I was in dozens of lawsuits and won 70% of my battles. I outmaneuvered them. I made long-range plans, and in the end, we were able to turn the tide. In the end, the California government's In the end, California governments, these are local governments, resorted to thuggery and underhanded tactics against the law tactics to close the dispensaries, including ones managed